Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this triangular trifold card. The original idea was from a German lady named Anna Hoffman, and I will put a link to her website in the box below the video. I'm not going to try and pronounce it, but on her website she has diagrams showing you how to make this. So what happens with this, you undo the ribbon, and that's only there really to hold it closed, and then when you open this up, okay, so you've got your card like that, you open it up like that so it all stays round the same way. Isn't that clever? And close it like that. I think that is absolutely brilliant. The one that Anna had done was a Christmas card, which was superb. So there we go, this is what I'm going to show you, and I am going to start off by telling you the card pieces that you're going to need. I'm going to do the same design with the tortoise, but I'm changing my colour scheme. So what you are going to need, first of all, 2 pieces of Whisper White Cardstock, which measure 4 inches by 10 1/4 inches, which is 10.1 by 26 centimetres. And then you will need a piece of Petal Pink, which measures 3 7/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches, which is 9.8 by 13.6 centimetres. And then a piece of Whisper White, which measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, which is 9.5 by 13.3 centimetres. And then you will need a piece of Petal Pink, which measures 3 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches, which is 9.5 by 9.5 centimetres. And then you need a piece of designer series paper, and I'm using Magnolia Lane, and this measures 3 1/2 inches by 3 1/2 inches, which is 8.9 by 8.9 centimetres. Then you will need 2 pieces of Petal Pink, which measure 1/2 inch by 3 7/8 inches, which is 1.3 by 9.8 centimetres. 2 pieces of designer series paper. I'm using a contrast, and these are also from Magnolia Lane, and these should measure 3/8 of an inch by 3 3/4 inches, so that's 2 pieces of that as well, which is 1 by 9.5 centimetres. And then these 2 pieces are approximate, and they are for the background there and the white piece there, and I've said about 3 1/4 inches square, or 8.2 centimetres square, and that one's about 3 inches square by 7.6 centimetres square. Right, now this is amazingly easy to make. I have found it easier to do using Whisper White as my card base. When I made a previous card using diagonal folds, I found that the cardstock tended to split at the points there, and I did find that with when I did the coloured cardstock as well on this, but with the Whisper White it is far less likely to do that. So let me start off with my scoreboard, or if you use your trimmer, and I am going to take the first piece and score at 5 1/2 inches. I'm going to turn it around, so I've got my narrow piece here, that's my 5 1/2 inches piece, this is my 4 3/4 inches piece, and I'm just going to make a little mark at 4 inches. Okay, and then I'm going to do exactly the same with this piece. Score at 5 1/2 inches. Sorry, I've forgotten to write the metrics of that down. So 5.5 inches, that has got to be 13.9 centimetres. And then turn it around and mark at 4 inches, which is 10.1 centimetres. Okay. Then what you need to do is you need to score a line from your 4 inches there down to this point. Okay, now if you're using a trimmer, then obviously you just put that in your cutting track and that in your cutting track. If you're using a scoreboard, hopefully you've got one of the lines highlighted. That's my 6-inch line. So I put my pencil mark there and my point down here, and every time I get one lined up, I go back, make sure the other one's lined up. When that one's correct, make sure that one is still correct. And then when you're scoring anything at an angle, it's better to go off first and then come back. It will help save you doing any rucking up. Okay, so there's that one. And then the same on this one. So get one lined up properly, check the other one, and go back to the first one and check. Just keep on checking. Okay. So that's that. I think we've finished with our scoreboards now. So what we need to do is, did I bring my bone folder over? I'm sure I did. Oh, here it is. Right. So I'm going to fold this on that line. And I am going to erase that pencil mark before I forget. And then I am going to fold this one back. And it's this fold that I find makes the cardstock crack. Okay, and there is no cracking there on that one. So again, move our pencil mark, fold this one, take that way, the shorter one. I can make sure I'm lining it up correctly. And then fold this one. Now I have to say I normally get a bit confused when I am actually folding. It's gone right there. So I do check before I make any more moves with this, just to make sure that I am going correct. So that should go in there. Oh, there we go, got it right first time. Okay, so that is how our card is going to be working. So that's very pleasing. So first of all, I'm going to adhere these two pieces together. You can use tear and tape or Tombow. I'm going to use Tombow. I've forgotten to bring my silicone mat, so let's just use a scrap of paper. I don't think it really matters which piece you put on top. You're going to have a seam on the inside, so right, so put that there. Line that up to the fold, making sure it will close okay, and then make sure that's lining up straight. Okay. Then while I'm here, I am going to pop that bit in as well. You can see evidence of a pencil mark there. There we go, so just put some more Tombow. Tweezers. What I meant to do was, once I've got this far, I've got a little test piece here somewhere. Where is it? Just to make sure, because that's got to go on there. And if I make it stick on that one, because there is a right way and wrong way of doing this. That's it. Okay, so that's going to be the right way of doing it, so that when you open up, it stays the right way. So I've got to remember to keep my card this way. Okay, so that's good. I have actually done my piece for in here, the tortoise, and painted him. Now these two pieces here, you're going to need these two, and we might as well do all of this cardstock bit first, or the decorating bit. Now this you need your trimmer for. And what you need to do is just to slice from that corner down to that corner, and that corner down to that corner. So you put that one into the cutting line, that into the cutting line. Keep checking both ends until you're happy. Now with this one, it is better to make your first cut inside, just like I said, to start your scoring a little bit in and then come back. You need to do that on when you're cutting as well. So I'm onto my DSP, I come out and then back up again. Okay, that's those two. I'm going to do the same with this. The reason I do this is because sometimes if you just take your blade straight up to the point, it can cause it all to ruck up, which is not a pretty sight. Right, so down and back up. Okay, so that's those. So I'm going to adhere these together and then put these on my card. Because I decided to use the Whisper White for my base, it did make it a bit more of a challenge choosing the design series paper that I wanted to use, and that was because I like my double layers, I needed to have a coloured cardstock like my Petal Pink, and then on top of that it really needs a designer series paper that's got a white background to it. I have to say that although I bought loads of the designer series paper when the new catalogue first came out, I don't really have much of it left. I seem to have been working my way through it like a dose of salts. I think the designs we have at the moment are really lovely. Right, so that's those. And then these go onto these triangles. Obviously if you're using a directional pattern you have to be careful which way you're going with this. I'm a bit of a coward, I prefer to take the easy route and avoid directional patterns. There we go. Although having said that, I did ask myself whether there was a right way or wrong way with this patterned, with these flowers. But I didn't really take any notice of myself. And the reason I didn't is because that's going to be quite big over there. That's going to be quite big. But I can't see whether that is upside down or not. No, that's alright. Because that will be going like that and then opening up like that. So that's good. Right, okay. And then I'm going to put these two just down these two bits here. When I first did the tortoise, I did him in, stamped him in Memento ink and then painted, oh that's a bit short. Oh, hold on, come back. Wonder what I've done there. That one's okay. Oh, maybe that's not either. Maybe that's too long. Oh, that's why. That's too long. Okay. Are you going to come off? No, you're not, are you? Right, so what I'm going to do... Okay, not quite sure what I've done wrong here. Let me just double check what size I've said. 3 7/8. Is that 3 7/8? No, that's 4. Okay. So I'm going to have to cut a piece of that off. Fortunately, it's such a small piece that I'm not going to worry about using trimmer or something. Okay, so there's that one. And let me just put a pencil mark there so that I can... Okay, I'm using my grid paper to measure this. Okay, so take that pencil mark. That's better. Why did I assume that it was the DSP that was wrong? Oops. There we go, that looks nice. I deliberately chose this stripy pattern to go horizontally. Right, let me just check this one now. Oh, that is the right size. So what are you? Oh, that's right. Oh, it's just, oops, no. Come on. That's it. Let's just give this a little bit more Tombow to make sure it does stick. There you go. So today's lesson is, don't assume that it's your DSP that's the wrong size. Could be your cardstock, like me. There we go. Right, now let's put this one on. There is another video by UK demonstrator Julie Kettlewell, who made one of these, and in her video she shows a different way of dealing with this little corner here. And she had some designer series paper and she laid it on here and marked it from there to there so that she could cut that bit off and then it would fit on that whole piece there. And you may want to check Julie's video out, see how she did that. Another idea that I had, and I can see I've got some glue on there, was to let me show you. This was my first attempt. And what I did on this one was I stamped background here. Okay, but as I say, this is one that you need to be careful with what direction that you're doing it in. Let's bring my frog back. Just put him that way. Which meant, well, they're sideways, so that's okay. What would happen if I did it the other way? Oh, that would be alright. Yeah, okay, so if you wanted to do that, those are only the bits you need, but what I would suggest, if you like that idea, to stamp all of this before you do your scoring. If you do it after scoring, you're going to get blanks in between there, but at least that way you'd have that decorated and all of that, so that would be a good idea actually. Right, okay, so, oh, by the way, that one is the one I did with the cardstock, and it tore there, so I've actually stuck it down again with some Tombow. Okay, so that's why I moved on to having the Whisper White. Okay, so the back of my card looks like that. Alright, so the next thing I need to do is the stamping. That needs to be stamped and that needs to be stamped. Now both of these pieces I have already done, I've coloured them and everything, but I want to show you how I did them. Okay, so that's the bit there for the inside. And so this is the one that I'm going to be die cutting. So the stamp set is called Back on Your Feet, which is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at these little images. This is the one I'm using, and I've used Hope You're Back on Your Feet Soon. I will be using 2 dies to die cut it, and I am using one of my Layering Squares dies, and also I'm using the scalloped one, which I think is number 8, 9, I thought it was number 10, wasn't it? Yes, number 10. Okay, so it's number 10 scalloped, and then from the stitched shapes I'm using the largest square stamp, so that's number 4. So that's the bits that I'll be using. So I need that, and I need that, and I am going to be using Stays On because I want to use my marker pens. Now this marker pen that I'm using is actually called Blush Blossom, and it's a retired pen, and Stampin' Up brought it out for skin tones. I think it looks the same as that one there, which is Petal Pink, but I can't test my Petal Pink against this one because my Petal Pink has dried out. And also found out on when I was on the incentive trip that you should not fill the marker pens up with our ink refills because the ink inside here is different from the ink refills. So I really need a new Petal Pink stamp, but in the meantime I've got this so that I'm pretending that that's what it is. Right, so first of all I'm just going to pop him right in the centre because I've got to die cut him. I will do the sentiment once I've cut him out. So there's that. Right, now, for what I did, first of all, with the Blush Blossom, I did his arms and his legs. It's not quite dry yet, is it? In fact, while I'm just give that a couple of minutes, and I'll stamp this one. It shouldn't take long to dry because the weather is really warm at the moment, and I have my ceiling fan on the go. The ceiling fan is really right above my head, so it's lovely. So let's move that over there. That one can go to dry, and this one must be dry. Okay, so let's start again. Blush Blossom. I just do the, what I'm calling claws. I don't know what you call them on a tortoise. And then I go over it once or twice to make the colour nice and deep. I'm not going to colour all of this because I've already got one done completely. But I just want to show you what I do. Okay, so I do that for the legs, the head and the arms. Okay, so I just go over them until I think there's a nice dark enough colour. And for the shell, I use Pear Pizzazz and Old Olive. Pear Pizzazz is the one that I use for the outside. If we talk bricks and mortar, I use the Pear Pizzazz for the mortar. It's ages since I used my marker pens for colouring. I'm afraid not so much that I've fallen out of love with them, but I'm definitely in love with the blends. And then for the bricks, I go over with Old Olive. Okay, and then I use crumb cake for the underbelly and also for the rim round here, which is where the underbelly joins on with the little house. So I just do those little bits there with a narrow gap. Do that once or twice, make that a bit darker, and then just nice and light round this bit. Just so there's a little bit of tone in there. And then if I find that I've gone over that a bit too much, made it too dark, then I can just go over this one, making it a bit darker. And then over the underbelly, now I don't want this to be too dark. Okay, so that I can go back and find some areas to do a bit of shading. So I do that outside edge, and then where it's got the little black dotted bits, I do down those lines as well. Okay, and finally I use Sahara Sand to just colour in the grounding a bit. Okay, so I'll bring up this one, which is the one, this is the one, to show you what it looks like once it's all done. Okay, you may decide to do yours totally different colours there isn't a right and wrong. I mean, who's seen a tortoise with a green shell? But I think he looks cute like that. So there you go, that's that. Now that's got to be die cut, which I'm going to stamp afterwards. That needs a bit of stamping as well. So let me just die cut these out. Just bring my big shot over. Right, so I need that. And the dies I've already got out, haven't I? So this one, I'm going to put that just below the bottom part of the ink, because I want to get my sentiment up there, but I don't want to encroach on that. And just check that's up. Alright, way straight, level. In fact, I need to push it out further, don't I? Otherwise I'm not going to get the other one on. Okay, make sure I didn't move that. Yep, that's good. Right, in you go. Come on, don't push back. That's it. And this one, I'm going to do this. There we go. Not going to be much wastage there, is there? That's it. You may want to leave yourself a bit bigger than that. And what did I say it was? 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. You may want to do that to be, say, 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. I do like to be very economical with my cardstock. And there we go. So there we go, that's that. Oops, that got wrapped up a bit in the middle there. Save that and get some good cardstock out of that to be used. Right, so move that one out of the way again. So I'm going to stamp on this first and stamp on that. Now you may want to do sigh on that one, and then hope you're back on your feet again soon on that one. But I'm going to put the sentiment on this one, which is here, and that's the sigh. So if you've seen me doing this before, you will know. Oh, first of all, I'm going to use Memento, only because I prefer to use Memento. I do like to test this on a piece of paper first to make sure how straight that is, whether I need to keep it straight. I'm not very good at getting my labels on my stamps. I love the labels, really do. So pleased we've got these. But I'm no expert at fitting them. There we go, that's lovely, that's straight. Okay, so just keep this straight. How far down can I come? I don't really want to get my head in the camera. Right. I think that's straight. Does that look straight? I think so. And the one with sigh is going to be this one. Let me just test that as well. I think this one needs to be turned slightly. Just do it on the edge so I know. Yep, have to take the dots to come down very slightly. Yeah, that's good. Right, so that's those all done. So the next thing is I've got to use some ribbon, and I have to say I did make a mistake on this before, and you might have seen that I struggled a bit to undo that ribbon. It's because I'd put the glue too far, so now when I close it the ribbon is tending to get stuck there. In fact, that has come up too thick, that edge. So after the video what I'll do is I'll redo that and just adhere it on top. Although I could use that one, couldn't I? And then colour that. Oh, well, that sounds like a better plan. Okay, so pretend that I've actually coloured this one, will you? And then that one, I will use it for a different project, but I will die cut it. Probably a smaller square, I think. There we go. And then this one is going to go, hold on. No. Go there. That's it. Okay. So do test it before you adhere your work down. You don't want to put it on the wrong side and find you open the card up and the frog inside looks as if he's standing on his feet because he's upside down. Except because he is upside down, you've turned him around the right way, if you know what I mean. Right, okay. So that's going to go on there. Now, with this, when you put your glue on the back here, I know what I did. I'm just trying to think out how did I do it wrong, and it's because I stuck the ribbon down first. So let's do that. Now this is a ribbon that I'm going to be using. Okay, and I think I took 18 inches last time, which might have been a bit long. But I'm also going to show you my new way of, so that's 11, so I need another 7. One of the things that drives me potty in my craft room is my reels of ribbon and how they keep coming undone. And now I have found a new way of doing this and it keeps them closed. I've used washi tape. I've got one there that I'm going to do from scratch to show you how I do it. If you don't want to see this, just fast forward. Right, okay, so this ribbon needs to be done. So I take some washi tape, about that long, about 3 inches. And the important thing is to fold over both ends. Okay, and once you've got that, you push that onto your ribbon and then pull it forward like that so you can push it down. It adheres on that side of your reel. Turn it around, hold your ribbon down, pull that forward so that you can push that down. Okay, and then that will hold that in place brilliantly. Really, really super. So when you want to use it, you just lift one of those tabs to pull it off, pop it onto the side of your desk, use your ribbon, put it back. The only thing I don't know, and because this is a new idea, I've only been doing it this week, is I don't know if that washi tape is left on there for a long time, whether the sticky will come off on it or not. But for me, I'm so happy that my ribbons are being kept really nicely that I'm going to be going with it. Right, so let me just double check that I'm doing this the right way round. Yep. Okay, so what I need is to put the ribbon on, make it so that both sides are equal. Let's move that out the way. Okay, and what I did was I measured again with my, can you see the bottom here? Oh, just about. Okay, so what I did was I measured along here, and this is 4 inches. Okay, so if I go to the 8 inches, which bit is the 4 inches? It's that white piece there. So it's quite easy to decide where 2 inches is. Okay, 8 inches is the one where it's got the dark line, so I always take it that that's like my centre. So I've got 2 inches this side, 2 inches that side, so I'm going to mark at 8 inches, and I know that the ribbon will be halfway. Okay, so now that I did that, I think I did it that way, didn't I? Yes, okay. So what I want to do is I want to adhere my ribbon down on this side only. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use snail. There we go, you can see the pencil mark there. But I'm only going to come about so far from there to there, and it's only to hold it until I adhere this bit down, because that I'm going to glue right down. It's not going to go on dimensionals. But let me find Tombow. Okay, so just a bit there. Another reason for using snail. Another reason for using snail is if I did take it too far, it's a lot easier to remove the excess. Right, okay, so that's that bit. Now I'm going to put this bit on, and the way that I decide where this is going to go is that rounded corner and that rounded corner. I'm going to line up with the groove there. You will see that there is an opening there, so that's got to go in like that, and then in like that. And then what you'll notice is if you mark about halfway through that scallop and halfway through that, then you know that you can go from there to there with your glue on the underside, and it won't come where you don't want it to come. Okay, so it's that one there, so I'm going to turn that over and do my pencil mark, and it was that one there, turn it over, pencil mark, so I know that I could do it from there to there, there to there, no problems. But before I do, let me just take these pencil marks off. I'm not going to worry about those on the back. Okay, so where am I? It's this side here. Okay. Now I'm going to put a fair bit of Tombow in the middle there, because I want it to hold onto the ribbon. Because at the moment it's only got snail, and that is not going to hold. Okay. So now bring my card back. Keep my ribbon as it is. Okay, make sure that's nice and straight, and that's nice and straight. And I'm going to aim for the corner there and the corner there to go down in that groove, or at least line up with that groove. There we go. Okay, so this time I've done it with no excess glue anywhere. Pleased about that. And I'm really pleased about the colour here as well. Very, very pleased with it. Okay, so now just tie that. Let me just cut the ends first. This is beautiful ribbon, really lovely. Let's get rid of those two pieces. And then I tie the bow just on the top here. In fact, I should have made this a bit longer. I said 18 inches, didn't I? I would say 20 inches. I could definitely have done with another couple of inches here. The only good thing about it is I will finish up with a very small bow on the front and therefore won't encroach on the sentiment. But it is a fiddle, as you can see. There we go. I'm going to need to cut some of that off so that it's the same either side. Oops. And that piece has, there we go, that's better. So there we go, that's today's project. Really easy, wasn't it? Very, very easy, but what a wow that packs. I'm really, really pleased with that. So there we go, nice easy undo here. As I say, that one opens a lot easier than the other one did. And there we go. I've got to go in and finish that, but that's all right. You know what it looks like because it's all finished here. Okay? So, many thanks for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this and I hope you give it a try. Let's put him up the right way. If you have any comments to make or any questions to ask, please leave them in the box below the video. If you would like to purchase any of the products that I featured here, there'll be a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop in the box below. Also in the box will be all the measurements that I've used, the score lines. The measurements will be in inches and in centimetres. And also, if you've enjoyed my video and would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe button, which is down there in the right hand corner, and click on the bell and you'll get the notifications. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.